No Steph, no Draymond. Obs, 128, 117. Pajemski, 18, 15,
There you go,
9.
Pods.
Okay, Jokic finishes with 35, 20, and 12. Obviously, that's going to happen. But Denver's now lost since Jokic's return to the Thunder, Pistons, Knicks, Cavs, Clippers.
Are they a worse team?
And now the Warriors. I'm gonna say, you guys, Jokic overrated. Just kidding. I'm not saying that. But it does. We started the show with MVP talks.
No.
Come on, guys.
The guy had 35, 20, and we got
Here's what I'm doing.
12.
All I'm saying is Cade. Well, I'm like the pro Cade person. That
Me
just
too.
means that Cade should automatically at least be above Jokic. Can we agree with this?
After this, yeah.
I don't even
Yes.
think this is I don't even think it's an MVP conversation to me. Like, we can't have both. We can't talk about how strong the West is and how strong the East is starting to become.
That's true.
And then we have teams that not having success. Like, nobody is dominating anybody right now. So if we're going to say that the Nuggets or even Jokic is overrated, we're going to have to make a case for a lot of different guys because, basically from 3 all the way to 7, all of these teams in the Western Conference pretty much have identical records. That should tell you about the strength of scheduling, the strength of the conferences, and all of those things. And nobody said that that Denver was immune to those problems, right? Like, so they're running to teams' best shots, especially when you're coming into a game with a guy that can go get 30 and 20 any given night. You're going to get team's best punch, even though you're not the defending champion. And so I just think it's a matter of good basketball being played around the league. Nothing other than that.
And also, no Aaron Gordon, no Peyton Watson.
Just a positive person.
That is such a positive answer.
Peyton Watson's been one of the hottest players in the NBA. He didn't play last night. Aaron Gordon.
Let me find something crazy to say. All right.
Yeah, work on that one.
This team is not whole. When they are whole,
That's
they're
fair.
dangerous. And again, there's going to be bumps and bruises along the way for every single team. There's going to be ups and downs. This team is going to go through that as well. But we can't sit here. The guy had 35, 20, and 12.
I know, but we just said it's not about their personal stats.
I know.
It's
I'm
about
just saying, we can't even go down that road.
I'm going down.
They're on
that
a
road.
slide and haven't moved an inch.
Yeah,
They've
they're
been
fine.
consistently in third place all season.
First of all, you guys know that Nikola Jokic is my second favorite player in this league. Okay, so for me to say this is a pretty big deal, and I still think,
Does Wemby one?
Of course, Cade Cunningham should be above
Is Cade
Jokic.
3?
Cade's 3. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty transparent. Let's be honest here.
But also, I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
And if somebody was to argue with you on the other side of the other flip of the coin, I think that would be fair to
Actually,
say.
no, it wouldn't. It'd be wrong, and I'd walk away from that argument. I don't want to hear it. Aaron Gordon, as we all know, seems to be a bit of the heart and soul. He's been out, the hamstring injury. Maybe March is what we're looking at. What do you expect when he comes back?
I mean, like you just said, he is the heart and soul of this team. He gives them such a different look where they can go small ball, play him at 5. They can go bigger and play him at the 4. He's such a versatile player. You can play through him. You can set the screen. He is kind of that glue guy that just makes them that much better. We know how good Jokic is. You know he's going to get his numbers. Jamal Murray, first-time All-Star, he's going to be consistently scoring 20, 25, 30 points a game. But when you get that 28 and 6 from Aaron Gordon, and that's what Peyton Watson's kind of been doing in his absence. They're just that much better. That provides their bench, to go less deep and to have that main 6, 7 guys play. Christian Brown's now back as well for a while now. So this team is fully getting healthy. I think they're going to be just fine. But yes, they are a much better basketball team with a healthy Aaron Gordon.
Lou, this is weird. So Warriors fans have been suggesting that the team should shut Steph Curry down. Mind you, they're in 8th right now for the rest of the season, and Kerr's response to that was basically, hey, we're still playing for a lot. So,
Hey,
it's
Warriors
weird.
fans, be careful what you ask for. We talk about a 37-year-old man,
Yeah.
and if you want him to sit out the rest of the season, be very mindful of how much more basketball that you can possibly see of Steph Curry. And also what Coach Kerr just said, there's a lot of meaningful basketball to be played. So we've gotten into this culture of we're not going to win a championship, shut it down. No, it's about building good habits.
Crazy.
It's about showing young guys good habits, and it's about just doing your job. And I know this isn't something that Steph Curry has asked for himself, and these are the fans talking, and so I won't criticize him for this particular take. But be careful what you ask for. We're talking about a guy that's in the latter stages of his career, and it's a lot of good basketball to be played. We want to see Steph Curry on the floor as much as possible. So no, you never know. If you have a puncher's chance,
And they
you have
do.
a chance, and they do. They're still in the running to make a playoff slot, and that gives you an opportunity. If you have Steph Curry in uniform, it gives you an opportunity. So I don't know where they get off on this
Why
idea
stop the
of
Warriors from pulling away in the fourth for a 128-117 victory. Denver is struggling this season against teams with a winning record. They're 13-13 against those teams while losing only 9 games to teams with a record under 500. Watching that game, are we more impressed by the Warriors or more down on the Denver Nuggets? Vinny?
Down on the Denver Nuggets because I looked at them as a team that was literally going to challenge Oklahoma City. Given what happened in the second round of that playoff series, had they been healthy, I think they would have gotten out of there. The fact that they are literally in a dogfight for that 3, 4, 5, 6 spot with the Lakers, with Houston and Minnesota, that's disappointing. I get it that the injuries are there. Peyton Watson is out. Aaron Gordon is out. They have not been fully healthy all season long. These next 6 weeks are going to be really critical for them. You cannot lose to a team that's missing Steph, Jimmy, Draymond Green. Like you were listening, Brandon Pajemski, good for him, but you can't lose to a team led by those type of players and not Steph and Curry. That can't happen.
Mark?
What happened? It happened, and this is why I got the Spurs over the Denver Nuggets, because I'm concerned. In order to win a championship, you got to have health. And we look at a guy like Aaron Gordon, who is very important to Denver and where they're trying to go. He's still dealing with the same hamstring injury that he was dealing with last postseason. Peyton Watson, hamstring injury, a soft tissue injury. You need those two guys because, yes, Jokic is so dominant that they're going to be able to put up points and be great offensively, but you got to be able to defend. And in order to defend, you got to have the right personnel. And two of their major pieces in Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon are not on the floor. So that's why since the All-Star break, you see they lost to the Clippers and then backdoored and lost to Golden State, which they shouldn't have lost their game, but you could put up points on them. This is why I'm not high on the Denver Nuggets right now for us being one of the legit threat or the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I'm impressed by the Warriors only from the standpoint that it gave me a reason to fantasize about what they could be when they're making shots. When you look at Al Horford making his three-pointers, when you look at the fact that Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Porzingis, and Steph Curry were all out of this game, well, what about when they're in the game? I'm not expecting them to win or anything like that. I'm just talking about somebody that could surprise somebody in the postseason if they're making shots, because a lot of times we see cats get tight during the postseason, unfortunately. And so we can't rule that out. With Denver, you're talking about their ideal starting five: Jokic, Murray, Gordon, Cam Johnson, and obviously Christian Braun. They're 8-2 when playing together, but they only played like 159 minutes together this entire season. So obviously we're looking at the Warriors, and Big Perk is right. There's a reason to be concerned about Denver. There's no doubt about that. I'm just looking at veterans that have been out, and if you're surrounding them with cats that make shots, who knows who they could surprise in a particular series come postseason time. We see upsets happen all the time.
Nobody.
That's what I liked about what I saw yesterday.
What were you going to say, Perk?
That's just Perk being a curmudgeon. Surprises happen every postseason. Surprises happen every postseason. The surprises happen. Somebody gets surprised. It happens.
All right.
I woke up this morning and didn't eat breakfast. Are you surprised?
Golden State Warriors fans, we need to talk. Because I never thought I'd wake up and hear this question seriously debated on national television. Should the Warriors shut Steph Curry down for the rest of the season? Are we serious right now? Let me ask you something before we even get into the takes. How do you beat the Denver Nuggets without Steph, without Draymond, shock the league with a 128-117 win, and then the conversation the next morning is maybe they should sit Steph for the year? What are we doing? This whole thing exploded on the FanDuel show when the panel brought up something that's apparently been floating around in parts of Warriors Twitter. The idea that Golden State should shut Steph down, protect the future, and reset for next year. And that's when it got real. One of the analysts said it straight up: be careful what you ask for. And that hit me, because we're talking about a 37-year-old generational icon. We're talking about the greatest shooter God ever created. We're talking about a man who changed basketball forever. And some fans are casually saying, pack it up. After a win like that? Listen, I understand the logic. The West is tight. The standings are brutal. You're not the favorite. OKC is rising. Denver is still dangerous when healthy. Minnesota is physical. The Clippers are loaded. But since when did not the favorite mean no chance? One of the strongest lines from the debate was this: if you have Steph Curry in uniform, you have a chance. That's not hype, that's history. We have literally watched this man bend playoff series. We've seen him flip games in 90 seconds. We've seen him drop 50 in a Game 7 on the road. And now, because the season hasn't been perfect, we're talking about waving the white flag? Another analyst didn't sugarcoat it. He called the shutdown idea soft. Soft. And honestly, that word stings because there's a deeper layer here. What message does that send to Moses Moody, to the young guys trying to establish themselves, to the locker room, that if you're not the favorite, you quit? That's not Warriors culture. This franchise was built on belief, on rhythm, on peaking at the right time, on being doubted and then flipping the script. And let's not ignore the timing of this debate. This comes right after Golden State beats Denver without Steph, without Draymond, with Jokic dropping 35, 20, and 12, and it still didn't matter. You know what that win proved? Depth, system, fight. It proved that this team still competes, still moves the ball, still defends with pride, still has young players growing into real contributors. So if they can win without Steph, imagine adding him back into that equation instead of removing him entirely. That's backwards logic. And here's the emotional part nobody wants to say out loud. We don't have forever with Steph Curry. You heard it on the panel. Be careful what you ask for, because when this era ends, it ends. There's no sequel, there's no reboot, there's no replacement for what he is. You don't voluntarily take fewer games from a legend in the final stretch of his career because the standings aren't ideal. You fight. You develop habits. You give yourself a puncher's chance. And let me tell you something about puncher's chances in the NBA. They turn into real problems when a team gets hot at the right time. All it takes is one matchup, one rhythm stretch, one defensive identity click, one playoff series where Steph catches fire. We've seen crazier things. The media debate wasn't really about tanking. It was about mindset. Are the Warriors competitors, or are they accountants managing assets? And I refuse to believe this franchise built on banners chooses spreadsheets over belief. So now, I'm asking you, Dub Nation, are you riding with Steph until the wheels fall off, or are you actually considering shutting him down? Is this team done, or is this the kind of season that sets up one last surprise run? Drop your take in the comments right now. I want real opinions, not safe ones. If you believe that as long as Steph Curry wears that jersey, the Warriors have a chance, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're riding with Golden State no matter the narrative. Because if the league thinks this team is folding early, they might be in for a very rude awakening.